Alright, so we have this physical base form Trunks character. He did get an easy A with the Android 13 characters, and he does seem like he's potentially interesting. We'll talk about what exactly he's going to be doing here today. But first and foremost, let's take a look at his stats here. Pretty decent, 17k HP, 17k attack, and then 11k defense. I mean, not bad for a bounty unit, honestly. I think these are pretty nice stats overall. For hidden potential, it did give him 16 additional 18 crit and 3 dodge. Fortunately, a lot of that was already pre-done from a few years ago, and I'm not gonna spend like 30 stones to change this banner unit. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. And he obviously is fully level 10 here. So let's talk about what he's doing here. Starting off, he does get 150% attack and defense. Then he gets an additional 150% attack, but minus 50% defense when performing a super attack, which is interesting, that they kept the defensive debuff. However, if you do have a movie heroes category ally attacking in the same turn, he does gain an additional 50% attack and defense on super. So essentially that cancels each other out. So if you have a movie heroes category ally, he doesn't get any defense on super attack, but he doesn't lose any either. So if we see here, he's at what, 173k defense, which is like, okay, interesting. He also does get 50% defense with each super attack performed, and that goes up to 150%. So that'll basically be what we see from his defensive stat here, right? Times 150% once he's fully built up. So what that's going to be pushing him to around like 450k defense range, considering what links he has. He does have Cold Judgments. You know, I should have brought PyCon on the team, should I have, huh? Because PyCon does have Cold Judgment available with this guy, but that's fine. I think, does Gamma 1 have Cold Judgments? He does. Okay, so that's going to be good. We can see him with Cold Judgment link active here. So we'll get this here, and then we'll get this with the Vegeta. Now, you may be thinking, why are we putting him in slot 1? He does actually guard, guaranteed when there's an android or a target Goku enemy. So that's at least a good thing. 10 mil attack stat, just free and easy right here, which is, I think, actually pretty good. Just a 10 mil attack stat straight up. I definitely like that. You see where he's taking a little better after he super attacks because he's starting to build up his passive. Now, for a super attack effect, he does massively raise attack for 3 turns. Supreme damage, and he sacrifices 3% HP. But that is actually really interesting because there's not many characters that have like massively raises attack. And I think, is this the first character that like a multiple turn massively raises his attack? I'm believing he is the first character, unless someone in chat confirms that he's not. Which I guess is not impossible that he is the first character to do that, but I'm pretty sure he is. So that's obviously pretty good for him. How should I do this? I really want this Piccolo to get hit, funny enough, but I'm scared he's just gonna straight up die, so we'll just keep this guy here. And I don't really want to do damage here either, so we'll just do it like this. What about that? But yeah, I mean, overall, the Trunks seems like he's a solid easy so far. I mean, if you're thinking about him just like as a floating damage dealer unit on like a movie heroes team, I don't know. I mean, without the guard, he really does suck. And it's like, what androids or target Goku enemy are we really facing in like actual difficult content? And like the hardest fights in the game, there's no androids or target Goku enemy. Like if we name like the top 5 hardest fights, right? It'll obviously be Fusion Zamasu, Omega Shenron, Goku Black and Zamasu, Rose Goku Black. And then, I mean, I guess you could say the first form Cell is probably like the 5th hardest fight in the game, which is like, sure. So that could be, I mean, that could be a fight where he could potentially find use in, but. So right here he's at 321k. We have everything active here except for Sane Lineage and then Messenger from the Future. We'll see. His attack stat should be a little, I don't know, because he did lose the 30% offensive support that we would be able to get from the STR Piccolo. But defensively, we are gaining Cold Judgment, which is actually pretty important for this guy. Because Cold Judgment giving a pretty sizable 25% defensive boost. That'll matter for sure. I mean, we see him jump up to over 300k defense here. Hopefully he gets an additional attack. I mean, I do have additionals built in for him. which is nice. Because obviously if we're getting those extra massively raised attack stacks in there, that could make him hit considerably harder. I mean, yeah, right here he's hitting over 10 mil without the attack support, right, this time. And then additional? We did get the additional, so you see right here, he's shooting up to 11 mil right there. And that's no offensive support. And then, I mean, that's not bad damage. That's actually pretty good. Just like free and easy. That's his damage right there. I'll definitely take it. It's not terrible at all. I like what I'm seeing actually from this Trunks, just as a sub EZA character. He's looking pretty nice. Okay, I see you, Trunks. I see you. So Rocket Lizard in the chat is saying that he was at 535k defense. I mean, if you have him with his guard, 535k defense is perfectly fine. Without guard, that's not enough for sure. Again, as a sub EZA, they're like, what other sub EZAs have we been getting? Like, in the past few, like, months. I'm trying to think at the top of my head. I mean, we got the Great Ape Turles, which is like, what is that Great Ape Turles a better character than this Trunks? I feel like they're like relatively even, but I would probably give it to the Great Ape Turles because he has a giant form and stuff, right? Plus to the fact that I think his defense does get higher based on what I'm being told from chat. But this Trunks definitely does more damage than that Turles for sure. Okay. We still have the Movie Heroes ally, so... Okay, so right here is at 386k defense, and that's pretty much his defense, right? On this specific turn. If I'm not mistaken, because he got 3 super attacks already. And then obviously the defense that he'll get on super attack and his passive cancels out. So this is pretty much what his defense stat is going to be. I mean, on this situation, he's not really looking good defensively, really at all. Like, 386k defense with guard probably is not gonna tank every normal in the game. Like, if this guy's like against Fusions and Mouse's normals, I mean, I guess, let's say like if there's even if there is like an Android's boss that has like the level of damage that Fusions and Mouse does in normals, this Trunks probably would not be able to tank the normal attacks. Like 700k normals, well, even with guard, like he's under 400k defense still. It's not enough to mitigate the damage he would take. But it wouldn't be like awful either, right? And it's like if it's against a boss that's doing like 500k normals, for example, it could work. But without his guard, he's not really looking like he's gonna be that guy, right? I do like the damage he's doing though. I think it's pretty good. Like right there, just 11.4 mil, no support. Sub EZAs don't really hit that hard. I mean, there's some Dokkan Fests like that released this year that could struggle to hit like an 11 mil attack set, right? So, I mean, if we think about it that way, it's not looking too bad for this guy, huh? Is there a way I could just avoid supers? Dang, I don't have... Like, I want to avoid super attacks, and then... I could do... Okay. If I do this... We'll get this with you. We'll grab this in. Physical Piccolo, as long as he doesn't finish off. I just want to see one more turn if possible. Oh, you're dead. Okay. Alright. That's what... I mean, is there anything else I really have to show for this guy? I think we got a pretty good look at what he is already, just straightforward as a character. I mean, if he was guarding with 700k defense, he would take 86k at the lowest, right? So, like, that's the least amount of damage he would take. Probably averaging more around 100k damage per normal, right? If it was, like, a hypothetical situation. But overall, he doesn't seem too bad. I think I definitely will take him. Like, for being just a banner unit sub-EZA, I think he could help a lot of people in certain situations. Like, it even, again, doesn't necessarily have to be Red Zone. Like, in other events, Super Battle Road, this guy could be potentially interesting. Like, with his damage, right? He could probably, like, one-shot some of these, like, weaker, like, Super Battle Road bosses that, like, when you have, like, 5 enemies, you know how the HP is lower. Battlefield. I think this guy could be really good in Battlefield because he's technically always guarding anyways, right? So, especially if you're against a target Goku or Android enemy, he'll still probably take less damage. And obviously, if he's not like type advantage, he'll be better there if you somehow run characters like that. In Battlefield, right? I think you could find use for this guy. And he is a nuking leader at the bare minimum. So like when we've been getting a lot of those like nuking events like every few months or so. So that could be interesting too. But I think he works. Let me know what you guys think though. And I'll catch you in the next video.